Here,
There we go.
there we go.
Come here, yeah.
So, good evening and welcome to the Mackmyra show tonight, guys, where we're going to take you through a tasting. My name's Micky.
And I'm Carl. Call us the Mac on Instagram. Follow me at the link below. Social media.
Fantastic. So tonight, our lineup for the tasting will be in this particular order. We're going to go for Mack, Brooks, Svensk and Svensk Rug. And then we'll have a nice big drink of water, and then we shall go for the Jatklycka. Okay. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do tonight. That's basically it, guys. So 50ml samples. Okay. A recommendation would be just to pour a little bit out of each of this one, because this is not going to be a big, long 2-hour tasting. So you don't want to get too tipsy too early. But if you do, that's up to you. Just try and promote a bit of a responsible drinking out there.
I was going to say, responsible drumming. Yeah, I definitely have to make sure I don't drink too many too fast, because I do tend to get a little bit red-faced if I drink too many different whiskies in a short space of time. So for everyone on tonight as well, thank you for joining us live. We do have an offer on for all of you watching live with us now. So if you use the code VIP10 on our website, mackmyra.co.uk, you will get £10 off your £50 spend, or if you spend £100, you'll get £20 off. So that's using the code VIP10. You can see it running along the bottom down there. If you didn't hear everything I said quite clearly, run it down there on the bottom. That's literally across anything across our web shop on mackmyra.co.uk. So if you like the taste of any of the different samples you're having tonight, and you think, do you know what, I fancy getting a big bottle, treat yourselves, use that code, job done, everyone's happy. So yeah.
So guys, don't forget, we want your input, we want your tasting notes, we want to know what you're thinking, what your questions are.
Yes.
So drop us the questions. Good evening, David. So drop us questions, and Gustav. And Simon. So good evening, guys. Drop us your questions, drop us your thoughts, drop us your comments. We'll try and interact with you as much as possible. We've got a couple of guys in the background. If we can't get to your questions on the stream, or if we miss it or something like that, then the guys should hopefully be able to answer your questions and things like that for you. So without further ado, if you're new here, we should start a quick bit at the beginning. If you're old and you've heard it before, it's always good for a bit of a refresh, guys, okay? So the idea to produce a Swedish whiskey was conceived by 8 friends in a mountain cabin back in 1998. They go in Salem. To ensure that they stayed in touch after studying engineering together, the group had a tradition of meeting up in Salem once a year. This time, purely by chance, everyone had brought along a bottle of whiskey with them. During dinner, one of them wondered why there was no Swedish malt whiskey, and if it was possible, why hadn't anyone already done it? So the question remained unanswered, but before long, the vision became what it is now. So they became pioneers to produce the first Swedish malt whiskey. So 1 year later, in 1999, Mackmyra Svensk Whisky was established. And without further ado, I'll hand you over to Carl, who'll take us through our first dram.
Yes. So if you already got it poured like I have, we've got the Mack by Mackmyra on the go at the moment, guys. So get yourself a little pour of that. Thank you for a little bit of history as well, Mickey. We're going to do little bits of history as we go through our show tonight as well, so we don't bombard you with a full background without wetting your whistle at least on the get-go. So Mack by Mackmyra is an artisanal single malt whiskey made from only Swedish ingredients. It's designed to be quite playful. It's designed great in cocktails. You can have it on its own. You can have it on the rocks. One of the things we're quite keen on in Mackmyra is that there's no particular rules in terms of how you have to drink your whiskey. But yeah, this is one to have a little bit of fun on. Really light, fresh, bright, flavourful, really easy to drink, and a great one to start the show with. So, getting into the nose. So you've got fruity and elegant, quite delicate on the front as well. Aromas of citrus and pear. You'll hear those notes kind of come through quite a lot with Mackmyra, citrus and pear in particular. There's a soft touch vanilla oak in there. And a little bit herbal with anise and vanilla. And on the palate, fresh, fruity, touch of spice, more pear, and a little bit of vanilla oak, and then the finish is short with sugar and vanilla. So yeah, again, a real nice, really easy drinking whiskey to start the evening with. I can see Phil saying there.
Nice.
Yeah, no, not too nice.
A bit too easy, should I say? Sorry,
definitely not too easy. But yeah, Phil saying on the chat, the nose is all pear drops. Absolutely. So pear, again, with the elegant recipe, is one of the notes you're going to hear coming up quite a lot, and you'll see as a kind of a theme, kind of a through line for Mackmyra whiskey. So yeah, if you drink along with us, yeah, please drop us your comments, what you're picking up, what you're getting from it. So yeah, we're bottled at 40% as well with this one. It's all American oak in terms of the casking on this one, and we do. This can be quite controversial. With this one in particular, with the Mac by Mackmyra, we do add colouring, and we are chill filtering on this one. And again, some of the reasons behind that are because it's designed for mixology. It's designed to be played with, designed to be used. And one of the things that adding colouring and chill filtering does, it stops it from becoming cloudy, so it helps the appearance. And that's a lot better, basically, when you're making cocktails, etc. So it can be quite controversial to say to add colouring and to add chill filtering to your whiskey. But we felt that for this particular one, it was important to do to maintain the consistency of the product. What's your thoughts on chill filtering, Mick, and your, the whole?
So it's 100%. It's got its place. There's a few drams out there that I quite enjoy. People go, it shouldn't be chill filtered. It shouldn't be this, it shouldn't be that. But you know what? Don't try these things before they are chill filtered. So you don't actually know what that product's like. All you get to know is what you were tasting at that time, which happens to be color corrected and chill filtered. So the main reason behind it, guys, is for consistency throughout the market and for reachability of people. Some people out there enjoy a whiskey, but might not be as knowledgeable as some other people. And then you see two identical bottles next to each other. And they look the same, but one's been on the show for a couple of weeks and one's just been put up there. So it's pretty cold, and the colder one looks like it's a bit hazy. Do you know what I mean? And people go, oh, what's wrong with that? That must be off. But it's not. It's just that chemical reaction. So to stop people having that sort of mindset. So don't forget, guys, majority of whiskies below 46% will be chill filtered. Not all of them color corrected, but in the main, chill filtered. That's a general rule. By the way, that doesn't apply to every single whiskey below 46%. Before we start getting comfortable, it's just a general rule, guys.
I was going to say, one of the ways you can tell as well if your whiskey's chill filtered, again, broadly but above 46, it doesn't tend to happen because the alcohol prevents it from kind of forming at that percentage. And one of the ways you can actually see that is on the back, especially if it's in the EU. I'm not sure if you can see it quite on the screen there, but it'll say something like mit Farbstoff, which in German is with colour, basically. So it's a good way to spot it real quickly and easily. But again, from a flavour point of view, it shouldn't do anything to the taste.
No, it's only in Germany, you get that transparency in the bottle. We've got it throughout our range on our bottles. So, it doesn't mean it's a bad whiskey, guys, just because it's chill filtered and had E158 added.
All that matters is the taste. And again, Mac for me is a great one to start off with. It's the one you can either warm up with, have a couple of across the night, and then have a little play with and not feel too guilty about it, I'd say. So a little bit more about Mackmyra. So from the outset, we're fully focused on creating a whiskey that was quintessentially Swedish. And the journey began with local barley, local spring water, and even Swedish oak. And then thanks to a lucky coincidence, Mackmyra developed a 30-litre cask in its smaller format. And that allows the whiskey to mature more intensively because you've got more contact with the wood. As a result, even the smoky whiskey that we make has its own kind of specially Swedish signature taste to it. We use locally cut peat and locally cut juniper twigs and hand cut peat as well. It's only a short distance from the distillery. Mickey will tell us a little bit more about the smoking side of things when we get to our Svensk Rook later on. It's a really interesting story around how that all came about and how we go about making that. And also one of the things that's quite unique to us is we actually have repurposed an old mine called the Bodus mine, and then we use that to store our whiskey 50 meters below the ground. Again, one of the reasons is because underground you've got a really nice even temperature, which is great for maturing whiskey. So yeah, that's in a nutshell, a couple of little bits of history and a little bit of our Mac by Mackmyra. So hope you're enjoying that one. I can see Sheila saying a lovely little early finish. Yeah, you're going to get a little bit more of that as you go on as well, as we move up through the range. So if you're all still with us, we're going to slide on now to the Mackmyra Brooks whiskey, and you're going to take us through that one, aren't you, Mick?
Brooks. We shall hit up Brooks. Probably one of our most interesting design bottles. Quite frankly, there's quite a lot going on the bottle. I used a better picture there than me trying to hold it up for you. But yeah, so Mackmyra Brooks whiskey has got a balanced character with fruits and butterscotch. The nose is clean with light spicy notes. There's a clear fruitiness with butterscotch, citrus and pear. Prominent notes are licorice and mint. The palate is fruity and slightly smoky, while the aftertaste is fruity and slightly spicy. Enjoy Brooks whiskey as it is, and again, with or without ice. It's 41.4%. And people go, it's what?
Spin the roulette with what number?
So, like Mac, this is slightly chill filtered, but no color correction. Okay, so there are different degrees of cold filtration. This is slightly chill filtered.
We should see the difference in colour.
Yeah. So the reason it's 41.4%. So we wanted to drop it down below 46%. So more people could get it, basically, because that helps bring the price down and stuff like that as well. So we want to make it widely available, but it didn't quite cut the mark at 40%. So we tried. We brought it down for 40. We kept going, and basically Angela landed on 41.4, and that was the sweet spot for where we wanted to get to for Brooks whiskey, which is it is quite a funny ABV, but it's a talking point.
Yeah, well. Yeah, absolutely.
It gets people talking, which is what we want, guys. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, let's get stuck into this dram. So on the nose, like we said, we've got the butterscotches, citrus, pear, bit of licorice, banana and mint. When I say banana, I'm thinking more foam bananas. Do you know what I mean? The sweets used to get in the news agents. If you still get them. I've not seen them in a while, but then again, I've not looked for them in a while, so maybe they still are there staring me in the face. Brooks is probably one of our most complex whiskies. So on the palate, we're getting fresh, fruity and peppery with a slight spicy taste of toffee, which is quite strange. So the spiciness comes from the 100-litre Swedish oak casks that have gone into this. We've used sherry casks as well. We've used ex-bourbon casks, and we've also used first fill ex-bourbon casks as well. Between the 100-litre and 200-litre mark. Yes, Steve, it does have a little more spice than the Mac, because like Carl said, the Mac has only got American oak, whereas the spiciness comes through from the Swedish oak, because it's got less of those wood sugars in it. Yeah,
it's quite bristly, isn't it, on the palate? When it lands on, it's quite sort of sparkly fresh. Definitely.
Yeah. So on the finish. Really quite Moorish. So it's spicy oak and apple pie, whilst remaining light and nimble. Yes, Shane. Yeah, a breakfast whiskey. Brooks.
5 o'clock somewhere.
Doesn't mean breakfast. Brooks doesn't mean breakfast, but yeah, Shane's absolutely correct. A breakfast whiskey for sure. If you're going to start your day with a whiskey, and there's probably less ones out there that you could definitely do.
100%. Yeah, definitely.
So a bit more on the Mackmyra history while we're enjoying this dram. Yeah, so today, Mackmyra produces whiskey with the same curiosity and experimental zeal as in 1999. But now in the groundbreaking gravity distillery, which harnesses, we can see on the screen now, it harnesses the force of gravity to aid the production and is designed to substantially reduce the carbon footprint. Guided by the historical knowledge of whiskey production, Mackmyra employs its own methods to create innovative products using Swedish ingredients. So that's really important to us. Everything we do is driven by our Swedish ingredients. You know, you see there the top floors, you can see the silos around the back there. That's where we store our malt, our unpeated and our peated malt. It's an absolutely beautiful building. Right at the top, most importantly, we've got the sky bar, so you can enjoy a dram and have a look at over the beautiful scenery while the whiskey's being made beneath your feet, quite frankly. So, yeah, what are your thoughts on Brooks then, Carl?
Yeah, I was going to say the distillery is so very striking, isn't it? And yeah, the Brooks again, like Shane said, like it is a breakfast whiskey. Again, it is like the Mac, an easy drinking whiskey, but you can taste that there's that extra nudge a little bit more. You're amping it up a little bit. Hopefully, you guys are getting that sense at home as well. That of just the first two you've tried, we're doing this kind of progression through the range. There's a logical reason why you're sort of trying in the order you are. So it is sort of building upon that flavour, building on that complexity, but again, still making something that's quite approachable. You haven't got too many different flavours trying to fight each other. It's all very complementary. It's all designed to be quite easy drinking. And yeah, again, like I said, I think for me, it's just like one of those easy drinking ones. Do I like the taste of it? Yes. Am I going to overanalyze X and X, Y, Z nuances at it? Probably not. I'm just there to enjoy it. Do you know what I mean?
Hello, Matt. Yeah, Sheila. Yeah, toffee and sherry notes. One of our Welsh viewers there as well. So it'd be quite good going into cocktails. Yeah, definitely. Guys, these whiskies are meant to be enjoyed and played with. Do you know what I mean? Not everything has to be a sit down and a serious dram in a nose and glass and pour over every facet of it. Yeah. Play about with it. Add a drop of soda in it. Do you know what I mean? Make it into a highball. Whack it over some ice. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Our creator tonic. I'm not just saying that, but our creator tonic goes really, really quite well with the Brooks as well. You know? Okay. It's fantastic, guys. It honestly really is. So honestly, guys, keep your questions coming in. It's lovely to see people popping up on the screen and interacting with us. This is what we're here for. We want you to interact with us, to ask us questions. You can ask us questions about the distillery, about the whiskies. Anything you want, guys, batter on in. It's really enjoyable. But yeah, no, Brooks is just it is one of those just. And I keep finding different aspects to it as I go back to it every now and again. You know. Yeah,
I'll just say banana bread and lemon sherbet on the nose. Ollie's saying in the chat. I just added the drop of creator tonic, just a little drop of creator tonic to it. And for some reason, that's whether or not I'm reading that at the same time, but that's really brought out a little bit of that kind of banana fruitiness. It's like I guess banana's that kind of creamy, fruity texture, isn't it? And I think that's what's kind of coming out there.
Yes, David. Tonic is great with the whiskies. Yes, nice.
Yeah.
Nice indeed. So, I think that brings us to the end of Brooks. So shall we get to something really Swedish then, Carl? Everything we do is Swedish, by the way, but. So sliding into something really hard hitting Swedish.
Sliding to the Spence. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Knowing if we're doing the right pace for the people at home, isn't it, Mick? I can see you sort of working the cogs. Like, are we going too fast? Are we going too slow? Are people there with empty glasses? Have people got full glasses and they're like, oh, they're talking?
That's why I said at the beginning. Just pour yourselves a wee bit, guys, for the tasting, and then you can go back to it later on and enjoy it at your leisure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Hopefully,
we're not going too fast for you. Let us know if we are. Please, guys, interaction.
Frantically typing.
Yeah, it's strange doing tastings in this format. We're still trying to get used to it, even though we've been doing it for a wee while now. It's still weird because, you know, we can't see your faces. We can't see your glasses, you know, so we don't know whether to slow it down. Oh, speed it up, it's going to be faster. You know, so we need your comments, guys. We need your interactions to let us know if we're on track or if we need to slow down or forbid, speed up.
Age of the whiskies, Dave is saying.
Age. So, Mac is approximately. So there are averages. So obviously the recipe changes quite a bit of the time for our core range stuff, Dave.
Yeah.
So Mac is around about the 4-year mark.
I thought 4 or 5. Yeah.
Brooks is about another year and a half.
Fraction older, isn't it?
Is above that. Yeah. So they're fairly youthful. But they are down to below 46%. So hopefully, we're not trying to mask youthfulness. We're not trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes.
No.
You know, especially with Mac, guys, please, you know, there's 3 things that don't make quality in a whiskey, and that's price, colour, and age. Okay, just because we've used E150. Ryan, I'm sure you're not that bad, pal. I'm sure you're not that bad.
Tweedledee and Tweedledum it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can really get the nose and the space.
You can.
Yeah, very reassuring indeed. Yeah, so Carl, take us through the dispense. Good pace, Jared. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Jared. Nice one. So we're delving into Swedish now. Sorry, just actually something, just a little touch on about what you said about age. Yeah, again, it's the focus is all around building a flavour profile, in particular, not necessarily directly an age profile. So if Angela feels like it needs a little bit of an older cask or it needs a bit of a younger cask, if it's the right thing for the taste of the whiskey, she'll do it. And it's just kind of got that free rein to kind of play with. But it is interesting to hear about the different castle influences, and certainly for some of the different whiskies we've got across the range, the list of caskings that go into it is wild. There's there's a lot of little bits and bobs that can be borrowed from everywhere. So it's there's no real necessary rule book for it. So with the Svens Ek, so we're jumping up now into the Svens Ek, which is 46.1%, and this is what you'll see sort of across a lot of the Mackmyra range as like our golden number. 46.1 is where the majority of our whiskey sits at. In terms of casking, we've got ex-bourbon, we've got Oloroso, and of course Swedish oak. So you will see this if you get a full-size box of this as well. 10% of the liquid that goes into Svens Ek is 100% Swedish oak. So you'll have 10% of the liquid that's matured in 100% Swedish oak barrels, if that makes sense, doing loads of different percentages all over. And what that does, it's Swedish oak in particular, it gives it a spicy characteristic. Swedish oak, because it grows in quite a harsh climate, it has less of the wood sugars present, xylose and lignin. Some of the wood sugars that are present more familiar in like North American oak, for example, where the climate is different. So because you've got the less of those kind of sweet notes coming through that you may be familiar with in bourbons, you get more kind of spicy sandalwood, ginger, nutmeg, those kind of bristly sharp, spicy notes coming through. So spicy character. If you get your nose in it straight away, you'll probably be able to tell that it does smell a little bit different than the 2 we've had so far.
Not too deep into it straight off the bat though, guys, okay?
Oh,
At a respectable distance.
Ease yourself in, because again,
dive straight in.
46.1. I think my nose has become quite seasoned now, so I'm just like throwing it in there. So spicy characteristics: sandalwood, dry ginger, black pepper, roasted oak, herbs, oaky sweetness, light toasted bread notes, and a little bit of toffee, and then get it on your palate. Spice straight away, slightly perfumey. Sandalwood, dry ginger, hopefully you're getting some of that coming through. Still quite fruity. You get a little touch of citrus in there as well. And then it sort of descends into an oakiness as you get towards the end. And a little bit, and this took a while for me to kind of pull out of it, you get a little hint of dark chocolate on the back end, I think. It takes a while to kind of develop. Once you sort of spice and the oils are kind of down a little bit, you'd be left with this even, flat kind of dark chocolate, slightly bitter coffee, slightly that kind of taste lingering. But definitely, a much bigger whiskey than the 2 we've had before.
Oh, without question, we don't. It does. When we go from Brooks up to F, it does take a big jump there, guys. You know what I mean? This is 46.1%. This is casking that you're seeing now in a more predominant manner than it was in the Brooks. Loads of spicing. So, guys, if the spice is Carl was going to go swimming, he has a habit of doing that. Bless him.
I'm very animated. Yeah.
So, to go along with the swimming analogy, then, so guys, this one does stand up well to a little touch of water. And I mean a little touch of water. So if you do find that spiciness, it's just that little bit too chlorine for you. Just be prepared. And I mean a little touch of water. I mean, we're talking like 2 drops there. 2 drops. And that'll completely change your dram for you. There's no reason not to do it. If you're unsure, wait until you're near the bottom of your dram, add a touch of water, because you can always add more water to it, but you can never take it back out. So if you want it, just add it in little touches, guys, okay?
So for me, that brings the chocolate forward a little bit more, I think. It quietens down some of those kind of bristly, spicy notes and allows a bit more of the kind of creaminess to come through.
Yeah, those spice notes take a backward step a little bit, tone them down a little touch, and it allows more for those creamy chocolate notes to come to the fore. Especially on the aftertaste. Great one for Christmas. Well, we got a better one for Christmas, mate. We're not covering them tonight, but we've definitely got a better one for Christmas. A rye style spice.
Interesting. I'd agree with that. Yeah. Again, that ginger side of things.
What really opens up the nose. That's what it's designed for, you guys. Look, it's knocking that ABV down. I mean, only by slightly, but it's allowing the whiskey to really open up. And it takes away that more alcohol influence, really.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of it. If you preferred it before you added water, cool. Then don't add water again. If you prefer it with water, then do that moving forward. Like, however you want to do it, it's absolutely fine. Yeah, it's interesting. We were touching on the Eco Distillery before, just in the previous segment, Mick. You were talking a little bit about Gravity Distillery, which we moved into proper 2011. So you saw it on screen there. It was completed in 2011, become the company's second full-scale distillery. And at the back of the distillery, we've got 2 large silos, each filled with about 40 tons of malt. One holding Mackmyra smoked malt, and the other one containing unsmoked malt. So the first phase of production sees the malt raised all the way to the top of that distillery there. If you see on the pictures, we can see the display there. So essentially we use gravity, so we're gravity assisted to help us with the distillation process. If you've ever been to any of the distilleries before, they're broadly built horizontally, so there's a lot of energy used to kind of move it from side to side in the process, whereas we at the start bring all the malt up to the top and let gravity help us bring it down the distillery as we go. So it makes sense kind of using that way. We also reuse the heat from the stills as well, and use that as I think 45%, isn't it, of the heat that comes from that is reused actually in heating the distillery as well. So we've very much got to focus on being innovative, challenging the normal in terms of how whiskey should be made, or or what it should taste like, but also the way it's made as well. Literally the way it's made, not necessarily just the taste of it, but actually the process you go through it. Hopefully when all this global situation we're in now finds its way to a conclusion, we can actually properly get out there and have a good old nosy around the distillery ourselves, Mickey, because I don't know, I'm really looking forward to kind of getting out there.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, couldn't agree with Sean more. Yeah, F is very, very palatable. Yeah, definitely. It does bring a lot of difference to the fore. Do you know what I mean? Especially with that Swedish oak influence in it. Do you know what I mean? You do get that slightly different spice than you would do from some scotches that are available and things like that. I love it. I think it's really good. I enjoy watching people's faces as they try it.
Absolutely delicious, much more complex and more. Yeah. So as you see,
that higher ABV, that different cask component makeup and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Ryan likes a nice spice bomb. Okay, cool.
Ex-bourbon, Swedish oak, Oloroso. Swedish oak's doing a lot of. That's what we say. 10% of the liquid that goes into it is Swedish oak. So you can see just how much influence that has at 10% of the mix. So just to think what influence it would have if you go sort of even further up the line with that. But it definitely, you don't need a lot for it to impart its flavour on the liquid. Definitely. How we going on there?
Good. Gerard's really enjoying it.
Opens up with water. Nice.
Yeah, so guys, don't be scared of adding a touch of water to your whiskey as well, okay? Your glass, it's your dram. Don't let anybody dictate to you. I definitely recommend trying the dram first off the bat without anything added, so you can get the full-on experience, and then, the rest of the glass is yours. Shane, yes, actually, you can buy a cask of that. So guys, on mackmyra.co.uk, you'll find a section on our reserve casks and our ready casks. So our reserve casks, you can basically you buy a 30-litre cask. You can choose from a selection of different woods. You can scoop a Swedish oak cask at 30 litres. You can then choose your new make recipe, whether it be elegant, which is our non-peated, or whether you choose our rook recipe, which is our smoky recipe. You can fly over to Sweden. You can you pick your cask, fill your cask yourself and put it into the bonus mine down in the warehouse, and then leave it for about 5 years. And then work with our team. You can design your own label for your bottle, and then have it delivered to your door. I think the starting price is around about the £1,900 mark. So that'll give you about anywhere between about 48 to 55-ish bottles. Depending on how the maturation and the wood's gone, really. No, not all 100 Ollie. No, some of them are 30 litres, some of them are 128 litres. There's some bigger casks and stuff like that as well. Our Swedish oak tends to be anywhere between 30 and 128 litres. And also, we've got the Ready Cask program as well, which are casks that are ready to rock and roll and go now. Same process. Slightly similar process. You get to design your label. You get to pick something that's already ready to go now. We can send out samples to you if you see something that you like. We'll get a sample as well. We'll have a consultation through Microsoft Teams, and you get to pick your cask from there, and we'll deliver it to your door, all taxes paid, all that sort of good stuff. So guys, have a look on reserve cask and the ready cask sections on mackmyra.co.uk. Carl, do you want to take that question, or do you want me to cover it?
No, go for it, mate. Yeah, we do, don't we?
Molten floor. So we'll cover the molten floor in a little bit, actually, on when we cover rook. So hopefully that answers your question there. But yes, we do floor malt our own smoked barley. So we smoke and floor malt our own smoked recipe barley. Our elegant we buy in, but our smoked barley we do use our own floor malting.
See, that's what I was thinking. I was double checking. You've said it, so that's fine. Definitely on the smoking. I wasn't sure on the non-smoky, but
no, we don't floor malt the non-smoky. We get that in.
It's fair. The ready casking, in terms of like how it works down, like breaks down to a per bottle cost. It can sound like quite a lot when you say the cask on its own, but when you break it down to a per bottle cost, it's actually not that much. To have something that's really unique, and I know it sounds like we're doing a sales pitch here, but it's
single cask. It's single cask. So corporations out there, they're great for gifts and stuff like that.
Wedding favours,
wedding favours, all that sort of good stuff, guys. So check it out. Drop us a message on our Facebook, or drop us an email or anything like that, and we'll get back to you with answers, guys. But your own cask, it doesn't have to be a £7,000 investment. Do you know what I mean? 30 litre cask, that works for you, Shane. So our average is I think we said the minimum bottles you're going to get are 48. So Ryan, love to know more about how to best visit the distillery and the area in general. We'll take that onto another stream in a couple of weeks. We're doing a show about the distillery as well, Ryan. So tune in for that one, my friend. So I think that takes us onto the rook.
The rook, Do you want to do? Shall we do a little pour of that, mate? If you bear with me a second, fella, I need to grab my power pack for my laptop like an umpty. I forgot to plug it in before, and I just had the battery warning. So if I leave you on your own, you can take it from here, Mick.
I'm more scared. I'm more nervous. Right, so guys, Svensk Gluck is our smoky whiskey in our core range, with notes of peat and juniper. Dry smoky aromas with light tobacco leaves and herbs, balanced with a slight mineral saltiness, anise and green fruit. Together, they form a unique Swedish smoky expression. To achieve the perfect balance of smokiness, we have used a peated recipe of different ages. Svensk Gluck is made only of natural Swedish ingredients. It's not chill filtered. It's not color corrected. That's it. So let's dive in some tasting notes for a second. And then I'll tell you a little bit more about our smoking process, etc., which is really quite unique to us. So on the nose, you get it straight away. It's completely different to all the three previous drams, guys. Do you know what I mean? It's really quite strong on the nose compared to what we've already had. Oh, look, he's back. Thanks for coming back.
The beauty of live television or live webcasting. Sorry, Mick.
So slightly smoky on the nose, with spicy aromas of peat, juniper and vanilla fudge. Somebody, first person to comment, hopefully with something that they get on the nose that I haven't mentioned yet. I think it really stands out. I will cover it in a little bit, but let's see if anybody actually gets the nose on it, or even when we get onto the flavour profile. I think it stands out in the flavour profile. Yep.
Yeah.
So you're getting lots of grief there, pal.
Yeah. That's fair. So it's yeah. Fair play. I do apologise, everybody. Put that in the outtakes. I love this one.
Steve's absolutely correct there. This is not a big smash in the face smoky peaty whiskey. It's a nice introduction to what a smoky peaty whiskey can be like. You can grow your palate from there. So on the palate, smoky with notes of peat, oak, tobacco leaves, herbs, salt, anise, and green fruits. I have left out one flavour profile there. I'm waiting to see if anybody chimes in with it before I stop talking about our smoking process. The ppm. So we only use 30% of our peated recipe with our elegant recipe to make up rock. When we actually smoke our peated recipe, it comes out at 60 ppm.
About 60, yeah, about 60 comes
ppm.
out. Yeah.
But then that obviously gets reduced to a third in our elegant malt. We don't measure the ppm at post production basically. So we don't do it coming off a spirit still. We don't measure ppm into bottle. So when we do smoke our smoky recipe, it's approximately 60 ppm. Get a nice bit of mint, very herby, thyme maybe. Yeah, sure. That's not the one I'm thinking of. Pine. Oh God, no. Kippers. Kippers.
What are you thinking now, Smoke? Spencer Rook and Kippers?
There you go. David's got it. Juniper, yeah. So I'll cover that while I was trying to get people to answer juniper in a moment.
Benson and Edges.
Benson and Edges filler.
Yeah, not quite.
Sorry, a filter, yeah. So tobacco, yeah, we got that, yeah. Ex-smoker, Mr. Tobacco, yeah. Favourite the core range, yeah. So this is our only core range bottle as well that comes in 50 cl. Because it's done in a small batch compared to the rest of the core range. We want more people to get to it. We want to keep it at a decent price for people as well. It's in a 50 cl bottle, the only one out of the whole range that comes in a 50 cl bottle. So Mackmyra is one of the few distilleries in the world which malts its own smoky barley. Both malting and smoking take place in the facility situated next to the distillery using Swedish grown barley and peat cut from the nearby Karen Mossen, which is the Karen Bog. So anybody that doesn't like Karens, chuck them in the bog. We'll chop them up in a few hundred years to make a smoky recipe.
Oh, poor Karens.
Stand by angry tirade of Karens now.
Asking to speak to the distillery manager.
Yes, I'd like to speak to the distillery manager, please. Oh, fantastic. So I'd add a further Swedish dimension to the smoky flavour. The glowing peat, so our peat fire, is seasoned with freshly cut juniper branches. So we build the peat fire up, we get it really going, we get it established, and then we put a layer of juniper twigs on the top of it, which we get given to us by the local power company. Which when they're tending to their power lines and they're cutting the bushes back for maintenance purposes and stuff like that, they give it to us and we use it to smoke our malt. So the process of malting and smoking barley takes around 12 days and requires constant maintenance and supervision. When the smoking is completed, the concentration of phenols in the malt reaches around 60 ppm, as I mentioned earlier. The new mixed spirit from Mackmyra's smoky recipe uses, I was wrong, so it's 23% smoked malt, with the remainder being unsmoked. So we dialed it back quite a bit. So the very first smoker, actually, Carl, right? There you go. Our very first smoker. That was actually in one of the founders' gardens. It didn't last long there, though, unfortunately, because of the amount of smoke and the smell from the smoke and stuff like that it gave off. Some of the neighbours complained, so we had to move it. There you go.
Right at the edge of the garden,
out by the shore there now. And so that was obviously just our how we experimented to try and get our peat fire going in levels like that. Do you know what I mean? So that was our earliest smoker. So I believe that's 21 years ago, man.
Yeah, I love the entrepreneurial spirit of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, we'd like to do some smoky whiskey. Like, here's what we like about smoky whiskies. Here's what we want to do with our smoky whiskey. Let's just try it. Let's experiment. Let's see what works. Let's literally build our own smoker and see where it goes from there.
Yeah.
I've got
how much peat we need.
Yeah,
let's see if we can put a really Swedish twist, because people in Scandinavia have been using juniper twigs and juniper for many, many hundreds of years to preserve their food. So when somebody mentioned kippers earlier, that was a bit like, oh yeah, you're close. Yeah, I was thinking along the lines of smoked kippers and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So smoking meat, smoking fish, quite a peppery aftertaste on the rook. Yeah. So the casks that go into the rook,
12 days. Yeah.
12 days of kilning, not quite. So that 12 days involves also the turning of the malt, etc. as well. So
36 in the smoker, isn't it?
Yeah. So the cask makeup that goes into this is American oak, Swedish oak, which is with that spiciness, that pepperiness will come from ex-bourbon casks and casks we've saturated with Oloroso, and those casks range from 30 to 128 litres. So it's nice, fairly, quarter casks and smaller, basically, that we've used, really.
Yeah, it's interesting the influence the juniper twigs have on the smoky barley, because they're so dense and oily. Like you can taste that in there.
Comes off of it,
Like it's thick. Like bear in mind we're talking about 23% smoky recipe in this liquid. You can imagine that sort of that smoky denseness is kind of sat in there. But I think it. Like I guess if you're familiar with your heavy Isla smoke and your really dense, peaty, earthy ones. It's not like that. I find it a lot more approachable. I love those whiskies. I'm a big fan of those ones. But I think it does sit in its own unique category. I think Swedish smoke. It's that oily denseness. But again, it's still got a sweetness kind of running through.
I think from a Scotch point of view, I think one of the closest would be maybe like Highland Park. Where they like in their piece, there's big elements of heather to give that slightly different, sweeter smoke that comes through. Do you know what I mean? But it's still totally different to Highland Park. But that's one I would akin it to, because the smokiness on the Highland Park is maybe not as much as this is.
Yeah, it's definitely. I see what you mean. It's not something where it's like it's not screaming smoke, but smoke is in there. There's a lot of Scotches you've got where smoke is in there, almost like salt and pepper is the steak. It's there to kind of enhance the flavour and sort of it's there, but it's not sort of there to shout at you. Yeah, we'll just Mick, do you want to just quickly cover that one off? 12 days of smoking a bit more.
So we use a shipping container. Stuart. That's next to the distillery. So for what was it? So for the 12 days, we're billing the smoke in, we're turning it over, basically. That's the floor, our floor meltings really. It's not. Yeah, we do have a video that we did maybe a couple of months ago. So if you look back in our YouTube and our Facebook archives for videos, look for the Svensk Group.
Oh yeah.
We did a specific one on Svensk Group, and me and you deep dived into that smoking process. So guys, if there's we might have been a bit too broad brush with the facts today on the ones that we covered on that core range.
Yeah, definitely.
Smoking and PT Shane, but we do have when we first went into lockdown and stuff like that, we've done quite a few videos.
Must be 70 or something.
We were going through and we did product specific ones per show, where we took a really big deep dive on a Wednesday right into the processes and how we got them, and we told the story of Swedish oak. We went really deep into our smoking process and stuff like that, guys. You know what I mean? So take a look back through our archives and things like that on YouTube and on our Facebook, guys. Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely worth doing because again, it's sort of like the whistle stop tour, isn't it? Today we're kind of we're playing the greatest hits, shall we say?
The high notes.
Hitting the top played on Spotify. But yeah, if you want some of the nitty gritty detail and whatnot, yeah, absolutely check out our back catalogue. We've done loads over lockdown, so yeah, definitely check those out.
So guys, it's time now when we come to the end of that to take a nice big drink of water, maybe rinse your glass out and stuff like that. And while you do that, what we're going to do is we shall play the video for Jatklycka. So Connor, in the back, if you don't mind.
There's something absolutely magical about the Swedish forest. I love the treasures that I find just stepping out of my office a few meters outside of the distillery. So Grythyttan Wine are a great partner to Mackmyra. We love their natural wines. The taste of this wine that gives the taste to the whiskey is subtle, soft, light fruitiness and fine spice. And it goes really well together with the aromatics of the Swedish whiskey. The Swedish innovative finish together with the Swedish oak, that is a perfect combination.
How cool was that?
Yeah, I like that video.
That's a good video. I like that.
I was going to say, I like Angela's hat. I've seen that video a couple of times now. I didn't notice the hat before, but yeah, I'm loving it. Grythyttan Wine.
So that was Angela, our chief nosing officer, or our, for want of a more common words, people might know better. She's our master blender.
Master blender.
She's responsible for the lovely liquid, basically that you're trying this evening.
Yeah.
So, our brand new release released just over a week ago now.
Yeah, literally 8 days on the 2nd of September. So literally brand new, guys. So yeah,
so it's only been available actually to buy for the last week. So Mackmyra Jatklycka. It means happy hunting. Guys, don't panic. It doesn't mean let's go and shoot deer or any other wild thing. It's more along the lines of let's explore the forests for foraging purposes. Do you know what I mean? So you saw what Angela was doing there in the forest, and you know the lingonberries and the blueberries, etc. Yeah, that's what we're meaning by happy hunting. You know, foraging, not necessarily get your rifle out and start slotting things. You know,
Elmer Fudd style.
Exactly. Elmer Fudd style. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. So bottled at 46.1%, and this comes in at 70 CL as well. So it's a Swedish single malt whiskey that celebrates autumn. And the treasures to be found in the ancient Swedish woods. An engaging trail of blueberries and lingonberries is revealed as the whiskey was predominantly matured in casks that previously held a Swedish berry wine from a craft producer. Excuse me if I pronounce this wrong. I'm
go on.
To get to grips with it. Grythyttan.
I think Grythyttan.
Grythyttan, aye.
Yeah.
So please, I'm more than happy.
Go ahead for it in the comments.
Pronounce it properly.
I'm purely trying to follow Angela on the vid. Yeah.
So the whiskey is obviously our elegant recipe, and the cask profile. In fact, we'll touch on the cask profile in a minute. Let's get stuck into the whiskey, shall we? Let's do that. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Honestly, that is beautiful. So spicy. With warm fruity grape tones and notes of herbs, soft vanilla oak, with aromas of anise, ginger, raisins, pear caramel, and vanilla. Honestly.
Definitely that fruit. This is really growing on with this one.
Actually, nice by a country mile. Nice. I like your bunny ears as well, actually. Fruit content in a glass, Steve, lovely. So on the palate, soft, fruity, spicy with berries and dried fruits. Defo bang on, Jared. Nice, like it. And get some pears, some raisins, ginger, and vanilla. The texture's creamy. I think we're quite medium bodied.
Yeah.
See, to me, right, people speak about, you know exactly what I'm going to say, Carl.
Go on, I do.
People speak about Christmas in a glass, right?
Yeah.
For your early sherry and stuff like that, right? I think we're the world's first to actually put Halloween in
Halloween.
That is an autumnal, you know, Halloween
autumn,
night.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If anybody goes to the rugby and stuff like that, do you know what I mean? You can go to like a Friday evening game or something like that, and you take your hip flask with you. This is exactly what you need in your hip flask.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's that, you know, or stood by the bonfire's night, watching the fireworks go off and stuff like that. It's that time of year. Not quite. Those deep, dark notes that you're going to get from sherry, you know, or your Christmas in the glass. We've got whiskey for that, of course.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, for me, that's Halloween in the glass right there.
Yeah.
So we've taken. So what we've done, we took American oak, Swedish oak, and ex-bourbon oak casks, right, and we saturated that in the wine. So in this lingonberry and blueberry wine, we saturated those casks. The size of the cask were between 30 litre and 100 litres. So into that profile as well, we've chucked in some new and first fill American oak and some new and first fill Oloroso casks as well. Those casks were between 128 and 200 litres big as well. So, you know, none of the casks that have gone into that are massive. Do you know what I mean? And the majority are around about the 100 litre mark. So fairly small there. But, but a small handful of those casks, Carl, as well, right? We're actually contained our smoky recipe as well. Yeah, so again, get that little bit in there.
Yeah, again, it's like it speaks to what Angela wants to achieve with her whiskies. It's about, if we think the cask is going to do something to the whiskey and enhance it, then we'll add it in. We won't be restricted by, I must use only X cask, or I must use only Y cask, or only this size or that size. You know, it's is it going to give me something I want to have in this blend, this flavour?
Yeah.
If the answer is yes, then she'll go for it. But yeah, I'm seeing a lot of comments. Red berry jam, the fruit really does it. Tutti fruity sweets, yeah.
That wine, obviously, red berry jam. Imagine this on toast. I think my toast would end up a bit soggy.
I can imagine it. Thicker.
I don't mean it that way, but I get it. Yeah. The word juicy does sound simple. No, not at all. Remotely. No. Not even remotely.
Yeah.
So the smoky flavour gives it a bit more of an inviting depth, I find.
Yeah.
So the result is an expressive whiskey with a smooth, creamy texture that branches out in notes of dried fruits, berries, spiciness, raisin, vanilla. So, you know, it's a literal, veritable saga toad in flavour.
Yeah.
So I'd like to talk about the packaging, Carl, actually.
Oh, Tell us a bit. Yeah.
The packaging's actually pretty nice as well. So I think we're kind of whack up
an image.
So the image there, So the packaging, right, was inspired by John Bauer. He's a Swedish painter and illustrator. So there's some of his work there. His work is concentrated on landscapes and mythology, so Swedish mythology. But he also composed portraits as well. But he's best known for his illustrations of early editions of, now here we go again, Bland Tomta och Troll, which means Among Gnomes and Trolls. It's an anthology of Swedish folklore and fairy tales. Connor, do we have the picture that the packaging was based off of? There we go. So you can see there, guys. Yeah. So the light at the top of the box is the sun coming from the middle, from just center of your screen there. Yeah. And then we get a bit darker as we go down the tree, and then we hit like the mossy, grassy ground around the tree there. And if you look at the packaging there, that's perfectly displayed there. Do you know what I mean? The white at the top is the light coming through the trees. We're going down for the oranges and into the browns, going down the tree. And we're going into those browny greens right at the bottom there as we're getting into the bottom of the tree and onto the moss and stuff. So we really thought, don't get me wrong, the packaging for most of our stuff, as you can see behind me, is quite, but we really concentrated on those colour tones. Do you know what I mean? We really concentrated on the colour tones to really get that autumn feeling right, straight from the eyes and then into the glass. Do you know what I mean? So I mean, you're not the only one, my friend. Yeah, we could also be drinking that all night. So Yeah,
very autumnal.
Fabulous, quite frankly. So guys, let's see some comments, questions.
Yeah, so Philip's saying again.
Yes, Philip.
Yeah. Interesting. Steve says tastes a bit like Juicy Fruit, the 1980s chewing gum.
I don't know what you mean, Steve. I'm possibly not even young enough to remember that. Oh, sorry, old enough to remember that.
Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah, okay. Potentially, actually, some of the kind of the deep fruitiness, potentially, but yeah. I should say as well that so with it being only been out sort of the past 8 days, this is essentially our second half of the year seasonal release. So we actually do seasonal releases twice a year, every year since 2013. Yeah, so one sort of spring, summer, one autumn, winter. And the idea behind this particular range is that they're limited bottle releasing, so I think we're on 15,000 of this one, am I right?
15,000.
Something around that, isn't it? Yeah. So they broadly tend to be around that kind of figure. They're limited runs, and the intention is to try and to pay homage or to sort of nod towards the season, the part of the year that they're kind of coming in, hence the sort of seasonal name. So that's why we're doing one towards autumn. We have done some in the past, like our Winter God, etc., that are focused around Christmas and the back end of the year and winter. So this one we're going for a little bit of autumn, and just like sort of green tea or Grant tea, our previous seasonal was focused around the sort of the springtime, the sort of changing the season around there. So it's some of our most experimental whiskies in terms of what Angela's trying to achieve in terms of flavour profile, and I think cost-wise, very fair in terms of what you're getting for the experiments as well. I think they're $59.95. I think around that price, something like that. Yeah, somewhere around again that mark there. So in considering what you're getting, I think it's a very fair price for some really interesting whiskies, and it seems like this one's been a bit of a hit as well in the chat as well. So that's great.
If you order this in the next couple of days, you can get a tenner off.
Yeah.
VIP 10.
Yeah. As I said at the start of the show, yeah, if you spend 50 quid, £10 off. If you spend 100 quid, £20 off. That's my Nottingham coming through there. But yeah, honestly, anything across the web shop, so you cannot go wrong. So if you did like anything you tried tonight and you think, do you know what, I want to live with that a little bit more, I want to try that in a larger size, or I want to share it with some other people, yeah, now's the time to do it. Use that code VIP10. Absolutely.
So I think that we're starting to wrap up. Guys, if you've enjoyed the tasting tonight, please let us know. We really do thrive off your feedback, positive and negative. Let us know if we could do anything better. But we also do now, we've got our Mackmyra live show, guys, which goes out every Wednesday. So tune in next Wednesday for the Mackmyra live show. That'll be on our YouTube and Facebook at 7 o'clock on Wednesday. And every week. But don't forget as well, 70cl bottle for our seasonal.
Yeah.
70cl season for a bottle. So guys, got a minute. Let's get some questions in. If we've got any more questions.
Yeah.
Be nice, because this is just fantastic, quite frankly. You know.
Yeah.
Convince me otherwise.
That's it. Yeah.
This is fantastic. Prove me wrong.
We've done our job now, haven't we, Mickey? We've been through the whiskies, we've talked about them, and now we're just enjoying them.
Exactly.
It's not a bad crack, is it? Oh. Do you know what? So I was saying earlier. So what's your favourite of the core? Because I know you're a big fan of the Jatklycka. What's your favourite of the core whiskies? Mac to Rook.
It depends. Yeah, if I've really got my life on the line for it, then I'd probably go for the Rook. To be honest with you, I like that sort of flavour that comes through. I really do. But you know, there's times and places for all four of them. Do you know what I mean? And you know what you want depends on what time of the day it is, what you're having to eat, what you've had to eat, changes in that a lot. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I was told, you know, you can only pick one of the core range to drink forever, it would probably be the Rook. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
I'd probably go with Eck. Personally, drinking this again is probably the first time I've drank it in a few weeks, because obviously we've done different seasonal shows and things like that. But I forgot how much of a big hit, again, 52 quid, how much that catches you off guard almost. And I think when we've done trade shows before, we've been able to go out in the public and talk to people, and they're sort of working their way through the range. Oh, Swedish whiskey, what's that about? And then they try the different ones. They get to Eck, and Eck's the one where they go, oh, that's different. That's spice. Really interesting. Yeah. Plans for an age-stated whiskey. ...
So we've released one before. That was the 10-year-old.
Yeah, 10. Any chance to show it off?
So we did release a couple of years ago. We did the 10-year-old. with a big old 10 on it. So we've done one. That's the only one we've done with an age statement so far. We do turn 21 later on this year. So we don't know at the moment. But as soon as we know, we'll let you know. So Shane's favourite is the Rook. Followed by the Jatklycka.
Nice.
Svensk Rook is the most interesting, Steve. Nice.
Okay.
Like it. Yeah, lots of love for the smaller bottle. With
Yeah.
the intelligence, you think this is the future of whiskey. That's a really good. So I think it's got its place.
Yeah.
In the fact that you can hone in down on your recipes, and you've already got the recipes laid out there for you. You know, so the Microsoft Azure platform churned out something like 70 million recipes.
Yeah.
And then put them in order of what should be the best to least best, because you know there's no such thing as a bad whiskey. I know some people probably disagree with me on that one, but you know there's times and places for all whiskies.
Yeah.
But no, so with AI, 70 million recipes. We made up the top 5, and then released AI 01. The fact that we put a 01 on it suggests we might leave the door open to release a second one in the future. I think we'll see. Right?
Yeah, I think it's not the future of whiskey, specifically the AI side of things. Maybe not. I think it's what's more important is being able to experiment like that, being able to sort of do something a little bit different, to not be afraid to try and use these kind of things, and not necessarily bound by not taking the chance with them. So yeah, definitely.
Right. So guys, I think we'll wrap it up there. Thank you very much for the comments, and thanks for coming and interacting. Next Wednesday is our next show. The next tasting show is in 2 weeks' time, I believe. So don't forget, guys, spend £50 and enter VIP 10 into the checkout, and you'll get £10 off. Spend over £100 and to get £20 off of that, enter VIP 20. Okay, guys. So any of the ones that you've enjoyed tonight, anything that's on the Mackmyra.co.uk website, get tore in and let us know on our social medias how you found it and how you're enjoying it, guys. So that's a thanks for viewing and a good night from me.
Yeah, it's a good night from me. Take it easy, guys. Pleasure. Skål.